name is Daniel, and today we are going to look at how to solve one of the practices for Module 3, types and formats of digital content. First, in order to succeed in a digital content creation, you need a strategic, audience-focused approach. This involves understanding audience preferences, which means text, visual, interactive, aligning content with marketing goals like brand awareness, leads, or optimizing content for each platform, analyzing performance data for continuous improvement, and staying adaptable to new trends and formats. So this is the description of the practice that we are going through today. With this in mind, we'll start tackling the first task, task number 1, content personalization exercise. For this task, we need to choose a target audience and create personalized content tailored to their interests and needs. Utilize different content types and formats to deliver a cohesive and personalized experience. So, how do we do this? First of all, we need to set a context. For this practice exercise, we have chosen to create a campaign for promoting smart gadgets. This is the most important part of this exercise, to say what area we are going to tackle and create a strategy for digital content. Now that we have a category, we need to define the target audience, for which we have defined the following. We want to be female, Gen Z, passionate about technology, a person who uses social media, and is interested in sustainability. This is going to be our target audience, the person we are going to focus on. And in your description, in your document or presentation, you need to fill the same details. Now that we have defined the persona, we need to think about the personalized content, how we will reach the audience on different social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify podcasts. We have chosen those three examples because this is what makes sense for the persona type we have chosen. As an example, if we have chosen, let's say, somebody older, maybe Gen X, we'd have added Facebook and have removed Spotify podcasts. This is why it's important to tailor your content and personalize it based on the persona you have chosen. Now let's move to the next part, which is in order to solve for this first exercise, we need to research characteristics of this persona. And we conducted a small research on Eurostat, Statista, Ipsos, and other resources online. And noted over here in this presentation for this practice the following key insights, which are high interest in ecology, Gen Z, this type of persona, female, are pragmatic about work, they are keen to travel, they have an interest in AI, they are digital natives, and they are more prone to anxiety. All those characteristics are very important in the content we are about to create and define for our strategy. So, the first example is that we want to create an Instagram post. For this, we'll have the following description. Top gadgets for traveling stress-free on a girls' trip. We'll add the following hashtags: gadgets, travel, sustainable, stress-free, and we have defined this picture to come along. In a future lesson, you'll learn more about how to get pictures that are license-free as well. Now that we have finished the first task, we need to think about the social media calendar. And the goal for this task is to design a social media content calendar for a specific period. As an example, a week or a month, incorporating various content formats like images, videos, infographics, and interactive posts. In order to do this, we'll think about the following part, which is consistency is key in reaching your audience. Thus, a calendar well thought in advance is key. What you need to prepare in your presentation or your document is a calendar like this. And we have chosen a week because it's easier to implement, as an example, where we have put all the days of the weeks and we have 3 rows for each of them that we will complete together. And for that, we'll start with Monday. For Monday, we have decided that we are going to create an Instagram post that we are going to launch after 8 p.m. and is going to be the first intro post about our article that we have defined in the first task of this practice. Now we'll go to the second day. On the second day, we are going to launch a blog post, which we are going to put in the morning, and it's going to be an article. This is really important because we want to reach audiences early in the morning in order to have time to save the article to read it throughout the day. Now, in the third day, we are going to skip because we want to give the users a break so they don't feel like they are bombarded with information. With this in mind, we are going to our fourth day on Thursday, on which we are going to launch a TikTok video. That's going to be launched after 12 p.m. and it's going to be a fun video that our audience can digest during their lunch or their transit from work to home. Now we are coming close to Friday. We are going to skip this day as well because we want to have another gap before our final content that we are going to launch in this week, which means Saturday. Saturday, we are going to launch in YouTube in the morning a podcast where we'll have someone invited in order to discuss the topic we have defined in our initial task, which leads us to Sunday. And Sunday, we're going to skip this day in order to prepare for the next week's topic that we are going to launch. In your document, you need to have this table with all the information and at the same time an explanation, as I've talked about, with the decision you've taken in order to add that type of content in that day. With this in mind, we are going to task number 3, which is Interactive Content Creation Workshop. For this task, you are asked to organize a workshop to create interactive content such as quizzes, polls, or interactive infographics using online tools or platforms. This is really important because quizzes, polls are interactive and get you closer to your audience, makes them feel involved, and at the same time, you can also gather insights. In your document, you need to state what do you want to create, and for us, it's going to be, as stated over here, a Google form. So we added here the tool, which is Google Form, content, sustainable tech knowledge quiz, which is going to be the title of our form, and we are going to embed this type of form on our blog, which, if you remember, in task number 2, we are going to release on a Tuesday. And at the same time, we can share the same link on other social media platforms like Instagram. In order to solve for this, we are going to prepare some of the questions of the form, like what material is commonly used in eco-friendly phone cases, which has the multiple options like recycled plastic, leather, metal. Then we define the second question, which feature contributes most to a gadget's energy efficiency option, which is a single option question, low power consumption, fast processing, large screen. And then, what is the benefit of purchasing refurbished electronics, which has the following options: lower cost, newer technology, increased warranty. This is how you are going to structure your survey. For your document, you can also define the questions and the answers for a poll that you want to launch on Instagram as an example. Now, let's go to task number 4, content A/B testing experiment. How to run an A/B test on different content formats like a blog post or video to compare audience engagement and conversion rates. For this task, you are asked to think about how would you run this experiment. So, what is expected out of you is that in your presentation or your document, you define the test scenario, which is blog post headline variations, and you will think about what variations you want to test. For blog post, you can test, as it says over here, the naming of the blog, which in version A can be eco-friendly tech, in version B it can be sustainable tech gadgets. For this, you are going to just state that you are going to use Google Optimize or a similar tool in order to see which one of those variations fits better. Now, you can also test this scenario with some of your friends and do a survey where you ask them which one fits better with your article. Now, in terms of analysis, after running the test, analyze the click-through rate for each headline. Select the headline with a higher click-through rate for future uses, or at the same time, as I said before, you can just add the headline that most of your friends or people that have answered your survey have said they enjoy most. Now, going to task number 5, which is content performance analysis. For this task, you need to analyze the performance of various content types and formats using analytic tools, identifying trends, successes, and areas for improvement. Here you are asked on how you would measure the performance of some of your content and how you would analyze it throughout time. So, what you can do for this exercise is the following. In your document, in order to understand the performance of the campaign, we'll look at Instagram. For a post, we can collect the following data: number of likes, number of comments, number of shares, and number of views as a story. So all this data is available on that platform and you can get it really easily. So this is what you want to add in your document. Now, in order to see performance over time, you need to state that you will store this data in a spreadsheet in Excel and create line charts for all the connected data to see the trends in time. This way, we can look at every week, because in task 2 we have defined that we have a strategy where we will launch a Instagram post every week. We can see the engagement and how it goes over time. And this way we can analyze that type of content. With that being said, this is how you can solve the practice for module 3, which is topic 1. Thank you so much. Good luck and